Ever felt like someone is playing mind games with you? One moment, they act sweet, praising you, making you feel special. The next, they ignore you, twist your words, and make you question your own reality. No matter what you do, it's never enough. You start blaming yourself. But what if the problem isn't you? Some people are experts at manipulation. They drain your energy, control your emotions, and keep you trapped in a cycle of confusion. Psychologists have a name for them, narcissists, and if you don't spot them in time, they will ruin your peace of mind. Here are 10 hidden signs that someone in your life might be a narcissist. Sign 1. They make everything about themselves. Ever had a conversation where you felt invisible? You're talking, but somehow the other person always finds a way to shift the spotlight onto themselves. You tell them about a problem at work, and instead of listening, they interrupt. You think that's bad? Let me tell you what I went through. You share exciting news, and they barely react before making it about their own achievements. Even when you're unwell, they somehow turn the discussion into how they once had it worse. In their mind, everything is a competition, even things that shouldn't be. They believe their experiences are always more important, their struggles are harder, and their successes are greater. Deep down, they have a fragile ego and an endless need for validation. By making every conversation about themselves, they ensure they stay in control and feel superior. At first, it just seems like they love talking about their life. You might even mistake it for confidence, but over time, you notice something. They never really listen. Your words are just background noise in their personal show. How to deal with it? Test them. The next time you share something, see if they ask follow-up questions or just hijack the conversation. Limit what you share. If they never listen, stop giving them the attention they crave. Call it out. Say, I wasn't done talking about my situation. If they truly care, they'll adjust. If they don't, they'll get defensive. Narcissists need constant attention, and they'll steal yours every chance they get. The sooner you recognize this, the less power they have over you. Sign 2. They never truly apologize. Have you ever argued with someone who always finds a way to make you feel guilty, even when it was clearly their fault? They hurt your feelings, lie, or cross a boundary, but instead of owning it, they say things like, "You're just overreacting." If you weren't so sensitive, this wouldn't be a problem. Or the classic fake apology, "I'm sorry you feel that way." It's not an apology, it's a trick to make you doubt yourself. Why do narcissists do this? Apologizing means admitting they were wrong. That threatens their self-image. In their mind, they are always right, always superior. So instead of taking accountability, they shift blame or play the victim. It protects their ego and keeps them in control. At first, you might think they just struggle with emotions, or maybe you give them the benefit of the doubt. But over time, you notice a pattern. They never say sorry unless it benefits them. And even when they do, it feels hollow. How to deal with it? Stop explaining. The more you try to make them understand, the more they twist your words. Watch for patterns, not words. A real apology is followed by changed behavior, not guilt trips. Set emotional boundaries. Don't expect closure from someone who refuses to take responsibility. A narcissist doesn't want peace, they want power, and an apology to them feels like defeat. Sign 3. They charm you fast, then flip. At first, they treat you like royalty. Then suddenly, you feel like trash. In the beginning, they're super sweet. They text you constantly, compliment you all day, and say things like, "I've never felt this way before." It feels magical, like a dream, but after a few weeks, they start pulling away. They stop texting, ignore your calls, and even blame you for being too much. This is called love bombing. Narcissists use it to trap you early. They want you to get emotionally hooked, fast. Once you're attached, they flip the script to gain control. It's not about love, it's about power. At first, it feels like a fairy tale. You mistake intensity for intimacy, and when they change, you blame yourself instead of seeing their pattern. Here is how to deal with it. Don't rush. Healthy love builds slowly. If someone moves too fast, it's a red flag, especially if their warmth suddenly turns cold. Step back, observe, protect your heart. Sign 4. They listen to control, not to care. You think they're listening, but they're actually gathering data. At first, it feels nice. They look into your eyes, they nod. They might even ask questions about your dreams, your pain, your childhood. It feels deep. It feels rare. You start to think, finally, someone who gets me. But here's what's really happening. They're collecting information, not out of love, but for leverage. They want to know your soft spots, your insecurities, your past mistakes, your emotional triggers. Why? So they can use them against you later. They don't want to know you, they want to control you. Later during an argument, they'll throw your own wounds in your face. Something you told them in confidence will be twisted into a weapon. Something vulnerable you shared will become proof that you're unstable, overthinking, or too emotional. That's the trap. You keep opening up, thinking it'll create more closeness, but every time you do, you're handing them ammo, and they'll use it when it benefits them, usually when you finally call them out. This kind of manipulation is hard to detect because they look like great listeners. You might even tell your friends, they understand me better than anyone. But real understanding isn't just about hearing, it's about care, it's about protection. A healthy person guards your secrets like treasure. A narcissist stores them like weapons. Here is how to deal with it. Don't overshare too soon. Watch how they react to your pain. Do they comfort you or store it? Do they bring it up gently later to help you, or throw it at you to win? Test their intentions before giving them access to your mind, because a narcissist will listen like a lover, but strike like an enemy. Sign 5. They only show up when you're winning. Ever notice how they suddenly show interest when things are going well for you? They start replying fast, reacting to your posts, acting like your biggest fan. But when you were struggling or needed help, total silence. To them, people are status boosters. When you succeed, being close to you makes them feel important. But when you're down, you don't serve their image, so they vanish. Their sudden attention can feel like support, but it's not about you, it's about the glow you give off. They don't love you, they love your moment. Watch who sticks around during your setbacks. That's when people reveal their real loyalty. Narcissists only show up for the highlight reel. Sign 6. They give backhanded compliments. They say things like, "You actually look good in that, surprisingly." Or, "I didn't expect you to get that job, good for you." It sounds like praise, but it leaves you feeling insulted. This is a narcissist's way of keeping control. They mix praise with subtle put-downs to confuse you. In their mind, they want you to feel grateful and inferior at the same time. It's easy to laugh it off or ignore it. You might think you're being too sensitive, but if every compliment comes with a sting, it's not a compliment, it's manipulation. True compliments lift you. Narcissistic ones keep you chasing approval. Don't let someone disguise disrespect as kindness. Sign 7. They get jealous when others like you. At first, it feels subtle. You tell them someone praised you and they downplay it. You get attention in a group and they change the topic. They act cold when others admire you, like you did something wrong. Narcissists want to be the center of every room. Your glow threatens their spotlight. They need to feel superior, and your likability makes them insecure. Why this is easy to miss. They'll frame it as a joke or say you're overthinking. You might even feel guilty for being appreciated. But don't ignore the tension. They're not celebrating you, they're competing. Here is how to deal with it. Pay attention to who claps when you win. Genuine people cheer louder when you're loved. Narcissists act weird when you're valued because deep down, they're keeping score. Sign 8. They talk a lot but say nothing. Some people use silence to hide things. Narcissists use words. They talk a lot but say very little that actually means anything. It's like throwing 1,000 puzzle pieces at you but none of them fit. You ask a simple question, "Why didn't you show up?" And suddenly you're hit with a dramatic story about their childhood trauma, how nobody understands them, how they were feeling energy shifts all week, and how you're being too controlling just for asking. Now you're confused, you forget what you even asked, and somehow you end up apologizing. This is not random, this is strategy. They use long-winded rants, vague emotional language, and abstract ideas to dodge accountability. They'll make you feel like you're the one who doesn't understand, like you are the problem for expecting clarity. They weaponize confusion. They do it to stay in control. If the conversation stays vague, they don't have to admit anything. If they flood your mind with meaningless words, you'll stop questioning. If they talk long enough, you'll give up. This is especially dangerous because it can sound deep. They may even quote philosophers or talk like they've read 100 psychology books. They may use therapy words like projection, gaslighting, energy, or boundaries, but twist them to suit their needs. It feels like you're talking to someone emotionally intelligent, but you're not. You're talking to someone who's emotionally manipulative. Many people miss this sign because they assume good communication means lots of talking, but real communication is about clarity, not quantity. So how do you deal with it? Stay focused on facts. Don't get lost in their sea of words. Repeat your original question if needed. And if they keep dodging, recognize that they're not trying to connect, they're trying to control. A healthy person will want to clear confusion. A narcissist will feed on it. Sign 9. You feel drained after talking to them. You can't always explain it, but every time you're around them, you feel tired. It's not physical exhaustion, it's emotional. Like they suck the energy right out of your soul. You start the call happy, but end it confused. You meet them feeling fine, but leave feeling small. You keep asking yourself, what just happened? That's not a coincidence. It's called emotional exhaustion. Narcissists create it by ignoring your feelings, shifting blame, playing mind games, turning every chat into a performance. They don't talk to connect, they talk to dominate. Here's how to deal with it. Check your energy. Ask yourself, do I feel lighter or heavier after spending time with them? Your body knows the truth. Limit contact. Reduce time spent with people who drain you, even if they're close. Love shouldn't hurt your spirit. Trust your gut. You don't need proof to walk away. Your peace is reason enough. Sign 10. They make you feel guilty for saying no. You set a boundary, and suddenly you're the bad guy. You say no to a favor, and they act hurt or disappointed. They might say things like, after all I've done for you, or wow, I didn't expect this from you. Narcissists hate hearing no because it threatens their control. In their mind, your needs don't matter, only their convenience. So they use guilt as a weapon to get what they want. It's easy to give in just to keep peace. You tell yourself, maybe I was too harsh, or I should have explained better. But the more you bend, the more they expect. You're allowed to say no, without guilt, without a speech, and without fear. Real love respects your boundaries. Narcissists test them. Narcissists don't always look like villains. They can be charming, smart, even helpful. But deep down, they're addicted to control, and your pain feeds their power. The sooner you spot these hidden signs, the sooner you can break free. Never let narcissists take away your peace. Peace is everything.